Welcome to the On the Four video podcast. This is episode 2 in the series. We are introducing the co host. Today I have with me, please introduce yourself.
Sweet tea.
All right, sweet tea. Thank you for participating in this video episode. Um, I'm going to
Let me
ask
put
you a
my
series
popping.
of questions.
Let me put my before you do that. Let me put my lip gloss is popping on. I wasn't ready for that, but it's on.
All right. So we're going to begin this interview. I'm going to ask you a series of questions so that the audience gets to know who Sweet Tea is.
All
So,
right.
as doing this podcast, we are considered content creators. So with that in mind, my first question to you is, what do you feel makes good content?
What do I feel that makes good content? Things that kind of pull the crowd in, interesting topics, uh, entertainment, lively things, laughter, comedy, life experiences that can relate to other people, things like that.
Okay. Let me take a step back. My first question to you should have been, what made you want to do the podcast?
Well, coming from a family as such, where we grew up, where we had to do a lot of things together because it was four of us in the home. Um, we had to kind of create our own kind of fun entertainment. So it was just interesting to be able to kind of meet with your family on like a consistent basis to kind of talk about topics, because how we grew up versus how the kind of younger two that are on the podcast grew up is similar but also different.
Okay. Um, Getting back to the content creation, what is your process as far as coming up with ideas and topics for discussion?
So my process is life experiences. So I know that things that I may go through, it has to be someone else that also is going through it. And, I kind of base my topics that I put into the team as such. So, you know, things about work, things about life experiences, things about, you know, coming in contact with other people. I kind of build my topics off of that.
Okay. Now, you know, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, and how do you deal with like criticism or negative comments, or have you experienced any of that? From anybody who've heard our content.
Uh, a good part about it is I have not, the people that actually listened from my perspective, they were kind of asking for more. Like, when are you guys gonna come back? When we kind of ended our first season, so it's like even being able to be open minded to kind of accept constructive criticism if it's it may sound weird, but positive constructive criticism, not just people getting on and kind of being bullies and badgering us and, just being just outright rude and disrespectful. I haven't experienced that, but my kind of motto for that is if you don't like the content, don't listen. Move on to something else. Not everybody is going to like the content. Not everybody is going to like our voice. Not everybody's going to like, you know, our kind of reasoning for doing the podcast. So if not, just keep scrolling, just keep going. You don't have to listen.
Okay. So you had mentioned that, people were asking, you know, when we're going to come back. So have they been listening to season two?
They have been listening to season two.
Okay. Um, how do you promote the, the content, the episodes, or just promote on the four in general?
Well, I'm always talking about it. I talk about it at work. I talk about it in social events. Um, just, being able to talk with the team and kind of create different things, to kind of promote it is something that we do as a group.
Okay. Um, my question, you know, um, I do a lot of research about the doing the podcast and stuff, and I've seen a lot of comments about, oh, and you need to have some type of script, or an outline. And I was talking to Tree yesterday, for me, I think we do best not having a script. Of course, we do have our production meetings where we're talking about topics and icebreakers and stuff. But an actual script we don't do, and I think that works for us. What is your opinion on that?
I, I think that opinion stands. Like, we've been doing wonderful without being scripted. Some things that are scripted sounds kind of fake to me. I think, the when we kind of bring up these topics and we start pouring into it, it seems more real than fake to me, because it would be hard for me to stick to a script because I'm in life, I'm all over the place. So I like to be lively. I like to throw some comedy in there. To be scripted, it's like you got to just stick to the topic. Nah, that's not for me.
Okay, and you know what? Just to piggyback off of something you just said about, you're all over the place. What is your process? Like, what is your creative process? How do you go about getting ready for an episode?
Having my shot ready for the episode. Um, just being able to have, to kind of go in right before. I mean, my excitement about it is going right before and saying, what's the topic for this week, and being able to be like, wow, we really created something great.
Okay. Um, where what can we do to market and get the word out better about on the four?
I think we definitely need to do more promotions. We need to do some more commercials. We need to follow more on the people who's following us on our Facebook page. Whatever other platforms, we need to be able to put ourselves on those, and we need to be able to follow it. Things become boring after a while, and we need to be able to respond to people. We need to be able to show people that we are creating more of what we have already in place. So I think things like that.
So how do we go about that?
So I think we need to kind of buckle down and, each one of us, you know, find our niche and what we can follow up with. Like, if your niche is the platforms like YouTube and Facebook, we need to set a time where we can go in and we can, you know, give back to the people, respond back to the people. We need to be more creative when making more commercials. Whoever does well with that, let that person be that. Being able to promote, every week, if not every other week, us in general, throwing out there, please go and go to the On the Floor, podcast and on Facebook, on Spotify, on Apple, the different arrays of platforms that we on. We need to be more communicative about putting it out there, so I think we do good now, but we definitely need to improve on following up, saying hello to our followers, letting them know that we're reading their comments, we want more.
So where do you see on the foregoing?
I see on the four being able to be passed off eventually to our children, or, us being able to become uh TV kind of TV set. Like they see we're on TV. We're on a big platform like TV where they're saying, please go to On the Four podcast. These are the exciting things that they speak about. That's where I see us going.
You know, in my conversation with Tree, we talked about, and I told her I think that we need to have some edgier content, and she was saying, "Oh well, you know, you're my uncle and my mother, and I'm trying not to." I said, "Well, you have to look at it this way. You have to put that to the side. We're co-host, so we have to come with the content that the public wants, or we feel that they want to engage in." I said, keep it respectful, but we have to really, if we want to grow, want the audience to grow, we have to give them that content that they really want.
I believe in that. I think because I've raised such a respectful children in general, I think, it is something, but it's a topic that we should put on to discuss. I think that, it's okay if they don't want to discuss it, but I think we have to kind of talk about it to let them know that it's okay. You know, my my children are just respectful. They don't, it's they curse now in front of me and their father, but it's not that kind of every word is a curse word, and they're respectful. So I get her, I understand. But you're right, we do need more content like that. I think we just need to talk about it, to make people feel comfortable. The same way we do in our topics, we don't talk about politics, we
Yeah.
don't talk about, sexual preferences and things like that, because we don't want it to come off as rude or disrespectful to
Well,
anyone. But I think in life, we need to have real conversations and then be able to say, excuse us if you don't agree to this, we mean no harm and no disrespect. So
okay. And I did tell her that we needed her and Tasha to speak up more, because she did say that, we and that we kind of like guide the episodes, and she said, because of our experiences and stuff. I said, well, and it's because we don't want no downtime as far as the conversation, because and you from the first season we did a lot of the talking because they just weren't engaging, as much as they should have been, and I told her, I think now, since since season 2, they have gotten a lot better as far as speaking up, and and talking about topics and stuff. But I just said, we just needed them to just step it up a bit more.
I think the first season they were uncomfortable with topics, talking to their uncle, their mom, they best friend's mom and uncle. It is something that, can make you feel uncomfortable. But what I think in season 2, they realized that we needed them to be more open and honest to kind of pull that kind of age range of crowd in, So I see season 3 being epic. I see that them being more open. I see that our topics are definitely going to be more raw, more engaging, more, conversational. And I think it's because they're getting more comfortable with, it's okay. It's funny. It's always okay when you're doing audio, but then when you start to have to kind of put the face to the voice, people start to feel uncomfortable, so that's our um next set of experience that we're going to deal with on the floor. So, we may, you know, be a little less talkative, who knows? But I think we're on the right track.
And that's a good segue, because we are stepping into a new arena, basically, because now that we're doing video recording so that we can upload to our YouTube page, and it allows the audience to really engage with us, because I keep hearing from people, they like the content, they like listening to us, but if they could see us, they would enjoy it more.
Right.
So,
This is
I want to
eggnog, by the way,
thank
people.
I want to thank Riverside FM for being the hosting platform for this, so that we can have the audio and the video, so to make our videos, and to do this series. And this series, like I said, is introducing ourselves to our audience. Those who only could hear us, now they be able to put a face to the names: Uncle Val, Sweet Tea, Tree, and Tasha.
Yes.
You know, and I do get a lot of comments, from coworkers and people who have listened, and they're like, "Oh, your sister is crazy. I love her."
That I am.
They're like, "Your sister." And then one of my friends that listened, he was like, I totally agree with your sister when she said that." And so you have a growing audience.
Ah, hope it. Let's keep it grow, 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 growing.
So, and like I said, I didn't want this to be a long drawn out thing. I just wanted to do this epic these this video series, just so we can introduce each other, introduce the co-host to our new audience with the video. So I just want to thank you for being the second person to do this, to agree to do this. Um, and I just look forward to our season 3, but now in video. And
Hmm.
just to be, I think this is really going to help us take off,
Yeah.
to the level that we want it to be at. And I really do think, us having the video capabilities now, and being able to post on YouTube, and we can also post the video on Spotify. I just found out. I think that is going to be great for us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And And I just want to say thank you for agreeing to this and sitting down and have doing such a wonderful job with the on the four. And I'm not going to hold you, but I just want to say
Can we
thank you,
do shot o'clock
everybody.
with this?
You can do shot o'clock. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have no bourbon in here, but here we go.
All right. Well, thank you,
All
thank you,
right.
thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching this episode of the On the Four podcast. You have been seeing Sweet Tea, and I am your favorite uncle, and we'll see you next time.